Hello, welcome. We're going to be looking into the month of June 2025. What I'm going to do here is condense the new and full moon readings into one video. I just found I was running out of time and running out of energy when I was doing these videos because it does take a lot of energy out of myself, which is totally fine, but it was almost interrupting some of the other content pieces I want to discuss. So what I'm doing is now moving all of my readings to the beginning of each month. So you have a full month breakdown more or less. I have the new and full moon readings here for the month also. And you can come back to this video even during the new moon to listen to the messages because I know this is moving a little bit further ahead as far as prediction and far as reading. But I am going to start with Gemini. I have the cards here for Gemini, so let's get started. Your month of June, by the way, you can come back to this and watch it later if you like, to gain more information about the new moon in Cancer that's coming up later portion of the month, or just as a refresh of what this month is going to bring for you or offer you, because this is quite a big, I feel you're at a turning point, but a bit of a crossroads. I feel that you might be feeling stuck, and this is really highlighting the Gemini archetype in this reading. Okay, so you have your main energy or your main message here, spirit of gratitude. In the month of June, I feel you are going to be, that is a 43, by the way. I feel you are going to be feeling grateful. I feel there's a lot to be grateful for. And I feel that for some of you, you might be really working on changing your mindset as well. So if you've been used to working in patterns of fear or worry or lack or scarcity, I feel that your mindset is also changing here during this month. And you could be very consciously aware of the mindset and looking at the good, looking at what there is to be grateful for rather than maybe the fear or what isn't working. I do feel though some of you are going to be kind of going into different realms of insight and information to get to the truth, to find the truth. Now, some of you may feel that information has been hidden from you, or it could be even societal. It could be in the greater context of humanity. But I do feel that through sifting through layers, which is what your archetype offers you, you're able to find the truth behind illusions. And it's not so much the moon card with this is smoke and mirrors. And smoke and mirrors is looking through the illusions, peeling back the layers, looking beyond the veil. Maybe not falling into information so quickly or listening to information or being influenced by information quickly, taking your time to be discerning and thoughtful and thorough. And this could lead to something new, by the way, for some of you. This could lead to a new idea or a new direction it could be the illusions within self, gaining clarity within yourself, or it could be within a certain matter of your life or societal, like I said, something that's happening in the world. Okay, so your main cards for the month, you have the the Four of Pentacles and the Six of Swords. And these two here are representing feeling very financially guarded. Maybe there's financial stress. Maybe it could be one of two things, feeling financially frugal. Maybe there could be lack or fear around finances, but I feel it's more, so it could be one of two things actually, now that I'm thinking this through a little bit more. The spirit of gratitude. Okay, so it could be one of two things. Either you're moving on from being in a state of lack and fear and worry about finances and being so focused on finances and holding on to finances. You could be transitioning out of that, where you're allowing for more fluidity and openness and a sense of trust. Some of you might be moving literally. You might be traveling towards a new location, a new opportunity, or you might be moving on from old ways in general. And I feel it has something to do for some of you to do with money and career, where you're in a transitionary phase of letting go of Again, such a hard emphasis or a strong emphasis on money, maybe what isn't working, what you don't have, what you want to have, and letting go of those patterns towards something more expansive. I feel that's going to be the main theme of this month. It's a transitionary phase of something where you've been somewhere where you have been of maybe more lack, or even just a pattern, like a mental pattern, for example, of holding on to sense of stability and security from a very deep place, and opening it up more, allowing for more trust and moving on from something. And like I said, some of you might be moving in general. Your challenge for the month is the Two of Wands and the Ten of Cups. And this has to do with being at a bit of a crossroads. So it's like this month is interesting. I feel there's an opening, but there's also a crossroads in a way, or some kind of shift within reality. I feel this is going to be mostly internal reality. I feel this month. What else is going on in June? We have the full moon in Sagittarius. We have the new moon in Cancer. We have Jupiter going into Cancer, actually really soon. There's something here where, and we did have Jupiter in your sign previously, so maybe that's part of it. Maybe it's the Jupiter transit. I'm not sure. I mean, maybe it's a general reading, by the way, so take it as it resonates. But I feel you're at a crossroads, and that's creating this dualistic nature, the dualities of going back into what has felt familiar versus, nope, I'm not going back into those past patterns. I'm not going into those past experiences. I'm going into something new. I'm going into something different. I'm going to experience life differently. I'm going to be a different person. I'm going to go down a different path. So I feel there's this dualistic push and pull of an old way of being to a new way of being, or a new path, or a new sense of self. So I feel it's going to be very strong throughout this month. So check in with that if it's resonating with you. There may be a lot of this push and pull energy coming in, but it's really challenging you to break free from old patterns and an old way or an old sense of self, to break into something new, to break into a new version of yourself, or onto a new path or a new experience, etc. The Ten of Cups also is a challenge where there may be a lack of harmony and balance with maybe family. We're in a 6th month as well, so it could be to do with family. It could have to do with love, relationship. There's an imbalance, and I feel it's coming from deeper within yourself on this one. I feel that it could be mirroring in your outer environment and within your outer relationship dynamics and maybe family dynamics, as of course that's how it works. When we are feeling conflicted within ourselves, we are going to feel conflicted or unstable or uncertain, or there may just be some difficulties in our outer landscape with interpersonal relationships or maybe family. So there may be an imbalance here. It's like finding your way with finding your balance with relationships and people and dynamics, and maybe within yourself, the emotions. And I feel that you're working on it and you're really trying to find it, but there's still something that's not feeling quite in balance. Your guidance for the month is Hermit and the Page of Fire. And the Hermit, the guidance for this month of June is to spend time by yourself and to search and seek and question and analyze and maybe address some of these internal patterns, maybe break some patterns. I feel that there's an opportunity here if you spend some time by yourself, and if this resonates with you, if you spend time by yourself, you're going to crack open something within where you're all of a sudden going to believe more. You're going to see more about yourself. You're going to see more about life, like something that you hadn't been able to see before. You're going to be able to reveal it through, and this is how it works, of course, through the inner self-discovery. And then you're going to start to believe more in yourself, because you're going to see more of yourself, and you're going to understand what has been creating the limitations, the barriers, the doubt, the worry, the dualistic aspects of self. You're going to see it more when you spend more time by yourself, and that's going to give you this Page of Fire. And the Page of Fire truly is believing in yourself. It's believing in yourself. It's knowing that you are the creator, that through your thoughts, your energy, your emotions, through your physical being and manifestation of capabilities and abilities, you create. I feel that you're going to be accessing some of that truth within yourself, or some of that, not only truth, but awakening more excitement and empowerment with who you are and what you can do, what you can create. So this Page of Fire is going to be awakened. And maybe it's also saying to set foot in a direction that gets you excited, that where you have a deep resonance of creativity, excitement, freedom, something that leads you to freedom. I feel there's something there. Okay, the full moon in Sagittarius we have on the 11th of this month. You have faith in your dreams and the Two of Swords. So it is saying have faith in your dreams. The Two of Swords is like I said, there's something coming in here this month where you're going to be unsure and you may not have your answers, the answers you want. You may not have clarity that you need. You may feel stuck. It may be within the mind. So make sure to check within the mind if it's coming in and creating hesitations or blocks or resistance or second guessing. But the message here is to have faith in your dreams. And that's this Page of Fire. And there's something here within this month to awaken that Page of Fire within you, the faith, it is a bit of Sagittarius energy. It's optimism, it's insight, it's direction, it's knowing that you are the creator of your reality, to believe in yourself. Your new moon in Cancer, I can't remember the date that is coming in. I don't think I've even really looked. Later portion of the month, we have the new moon in Cancer. You have show the world the real you and the Ace of Fire. During the new moon in Cancer, there's an opportunity here to be more of yourself. By the end of the month in June, you may be feeling more alive and more invigorated, and more creative, more passionate. Some of you might be expressing yourself in a greater context or a greater version of yourself. You might be maybe not holding back like you did in the past. I feel there's something of a liberation opening up towards the end of the month where, yes, you feel more creative, you feel more passionate, and you want to speak your truth. You want to maybe stand up for yourself. You want to put yourself out there on social media. You feel more aligned. You feel more outwardly. So it's a very, very strong birth of a new version of yourself where you won't be constricted by the imprisonment of the fears and the what ifs and the fear of judgment and shame or criticism. I feel you're going to be moving past that into a greater version of yourself, where it's going to create a great deal of excitement and fire, like I said. And the Page of Swords at the bottom of the deck leading to the Six of Wands. You do have a victory on the horizon. And I feel the more research you give this, the more planning, the more clarity, and the more thought. And some of you, it has to do with speaking, creative opportunities, communications, for example. It is going to lead to a victory. And some of you are going to have recognition in some kind of way. And recognition could be in any form. If you're in the social media space, for example, or in your career or workplace, there's definitely something on the horizon coming through. Don't forget about your practical plan. That's going to be very important. You have Taurus, bottom of the deck for the moon card. Your dreams need a practical plan. I forgot my animal oracle. Just one moment. All right, so I pulled a card here from the Animal Oracle, and it's number 67, Wolf Spirit, turn knowledge into wisdom. Yeah, that's what this is. There's something here about, with the Page of Swords leading you to a victory, the wisdom is going to be your victory. It's almost, even for some of you, drawing on your own personal experiences, turning what you've learned from the mind into wisdom to share with maybe the world or your community or with others. Maybe it's even in how you speak and in how you show up, in that state, in that presence of wisdom, I feel, for some of you. And that could be very reflective of the full moon in Sagittarius, which is the knowledge and the wisdom polarities, the knowledge of the mind and the wisdom of the higher mind, experiential learning, for example. I do feel some of you have the opportunity to draw on knowledge and turn it to wisdom. And for some of you, it has to do with communication, public speaking, writing, sharing your stories, something of that nature that can be very powerful for your future. Really great reading here, Gemini. All right, so I'm wishing you all the best during the month of June and beyond. Until next time, take care. All right, Cancer, we are looking into the month of June 2025. And let's see here. Well, we do have the new moon in Cancer later portion of the month. We do have the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th, and we do have Jupiter moving into your sign. Actually, I think it's next week. I think it's on the 9th. So, with that, we have the Oracle's gift for your main energy or your main message for the month or main theme. And this has to do with you accessing more of your spiritual gifts, your maybe gifts of clairvoyance, being able to see beyond, being the oracle, being the one who can see and sense and interpret, and using your intuition. Now, some of you might be strengthening your intuition. I do feel you have the land in between at the bottom of the deck as well, where I feel that some of you may be even really, really accessing your intuition to make sound choices. You might be at a crossroads for some of you where you may have to take a pause, or you might be pausing to really feel into the direction that you're going. And the direction could be like a whole life direction. It could be even in how you're making choices and maneuvering through life. Maybe for some of you, it's really accessing also your creative gifts or your intuitive gifts to create something out of it. And you're using your intuition, your intuitive gifts to find your way through it. Like, it's very deep, deep intuitive energy coming through this month. Your main message here from the tarot for the month of June is the moon and the star. So you have Aquarius and Pisces energy here. For some of you, I feel through the pathway of healing, you are you're deepening more of a relationship with yourself. You're able to see more because of what you're doing regarding healing. I don't even know if that made sense. Regarding if you're healing, if you're on the path of healing, if you've been really turning inwards and working on yourself, and again, the inner journey, I feel that you are strengthening your intuition because of that. I feel also you are seeing more of your pathway because of what you're doing to invest into yourself. It's only going to become more and more illuminated from in here first. And that's going to be your guiding light moving forward. However, the moon is here as well, because this is I feel it's a little bit of the disruptor to the clarity. You have the star, your guiding light, but then you have the moon creating illusions and creating distortions on the clarity. But that's the big gift, and the opportunity that's being presented to you is by working through the illusions and working through your fears and the levels and the layers that are creating the distortions. That is where you're going to strengthen this. And I'm going to skip ahead to the end of the reading. You have the moth spirit as the animal oracle, which I was going to pull at the end. But some of you are going deeper into yourself. The moth is transformation through the dark, but it's not, it could be a dark night of the soul. But it's really letting go of the certainty and control and navigating through this through your senses, using your senses to navigate this deeper experiential or internal experience. The moon is going to be your ally. The moon is going to be your ally through this, even though it might not feel like it. You might be facing fears. You might be facing an illusion, confusion, distortion. It may be frustrating. It may be confusing, but that is going to be your secret to this whole unfolding. And the more you go into it, the more you are going to understand about yourself, and the greater your gifts are going to be. You're going to strengthen more of yourself by going into the fears, by going into the illusions, like we all do. This is really a kind of a universal message, but I feel this is very, very powerful for you right now, especially in this month. Okay, your challenge for this month is the Hermit and the Page of Cups. Now, for some of you, okay, it's going to be a couple things. Some of you might be opting to not get close to anyone. I'm going to get into this in more detail. You may be putting relationships on hold, or a relationship on hold. You may be holding back from being vulnerable and close to anyone, or being open for love, because something drove you into deeper introspection, or you may be even, for some of you, stuck there. where you feel that it's either safer or that you need to go through this inner journey, and you might be pushing love or relationships aside and focusing more on yourself. That's going to be one situation. The other situation here could be you're going inward, you're in the inner journey, or maybe for some of you, you aren't. Maybe for some of you, you're not going into the inner journey to connect more with your heart and work on your heart. Maybe it's something that you're avoiding. Maybe it's something that you're just maybe too busy or distracted by life. But the calling, I feel, really is to, I feel that it's important to do this. It's going to be one or the other. You're avoiding going in, or you're spending too much time and you're getting stuck on the in, spending time by yourself and being in a more isolated environment, where you're not opening yourself up to love and vulnerability and life experiences. And then on the other hand, as I mentioned, you're avoiding it altogether. Some of you might be avoiding it altogether, where I do feel there's an important aspect of love coming up. And maybe some of you are avoiding it altogether. Well, maybe some of you are just avoiding love altogether, or opening your heart, or being vulnerable in some kind of way, because it is coming up at the end of the month for some of you. Your guidance through this month is the Five of Pentacles and the Eight of Pentacles. Now, some of you do have the Tower and the King of Pentacles behind the Tower with the Four of Pentacles. Oof, it's like really hard energy here about money and about work, resources, finances. So some of you may be feeling alone. Some of you with this Five of Pentacles, I feel the challenge also, of course, is the Hermit. Some of you might be focusing too much on what isn't working. You might be feeling alone. Be very cautious and aware of the perception of being alone. If it is shifting you towards focusing on what isn't working, feeling alone and focusing on being alone as a negative thing, I mean. So just be very cautious of where your perception is shifting because of your situation and where you're at in your life, or within your phases of development, because I feel you might get tested on that a little bit. This is your guidance, is to look to the light, is to look towards the positive, or to look towards the opportunity on the horizon, or what's really unfolding maybe on a greater landscape. The Seven of Pentacles is to be patient. I know we love that word, don't we? It's really, really dropping into the present moment. To drop into the present moment and cultivate the change that you want to see happen in your life. The Tower is the Tower with the King of Pentacles really is signifying a big change within your career. Some of you, it could be career, it could be financial status, it could be in how you're embodying success and certainty and leadership for some of you also. Bottom of the deck with the Moon card, I'm jumping ahead, sorry about this, but don't let your past hold you back. So you might be challenged by moving back into past patterns. Like I said, with the Five of Pentacles, this could be a very crucial month to break free from patterns and what has felt familiar, maybe thoughts and attachments and ways of being and perceptions on yourself, or perceptions on reality. The full moon in Sagittarius, you have emotions are running high in the Nine of Cups. During the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th, you're going to have quite a great deal of emotional contentment. I feel it's interesting. I feel that you're going to be, the emotions, it's almost a contradiction between these two cards, but I feel there may be a level of emotional intensity, but I feel you're going to be focusing more on contentment. If you are feeling emotional, I feel that a lot of you are going to learn something very profound about yourself this month. I feel there's an opportunity here to, yes, go deeper within yourself, but you're going to gain a great deal of emotional contentment within when you go deeper, maybe through a state of emotional chaos or disruption or uncertainty. I feel you're going to be able to see it more and find greater contentment because of it. And this full moon could illuminate an aspect of yourself regarding this experience. Now you have the new moon in Cancer coming in later portion of the month with new moon in Libra. Now it says a new romantic cycle begins. For some of you, you could be experiencing new love showing up. If it's not new love, there could be a boost in your current, if you're in a relationship, I should say, it could be a boost in your current relationship status. It could also mean that you are finding very nice balance and harmony with friends and within yourself. You have the Three of Cups and the Ten of Wands, where you'll be letting go of the burdens and responsibilities and the pressures and having more fun. And maybe for some of you, you meet a romantic person through being out and having fun. You may even meet someone who's a friend first and it turns into a romantic partner. But there's something on the horizon for some of you regarding love. So maybe for some of you, you've been inward, maybe too much. Maybe for some of you, you've been single for a long time and apprehensive of opening your heart. Maybe this is a new turn of events for some of you here that may show up at the later portion of the month. All right there, Cancer. I'm wishing you all the best during the month of June and beyond. Until next time, take care. All right, Leo, we are looking into the month of June 2025. We have, okay, yeah, I see what's going on. You have a very significant relationship reading here. It's going to be a highlight for sure. And it's someone very, very, very close to you, like someone like kind of a soulmate relationship, or it could be a sibling or even a business partnership. It's going to be really, really, really close. But before I get into that, you have exposed and revealed here. And you can see in the eye, there's a person holding themselves in a ball, kind of fetal position. It's number 21. Along with that card, you have shining through. So what's happening here in this month is you're breaking free from holding yourself back or concealing yourself because of something, because of shame that you have been carrying. Maybe you've felt bad about something, or maybe you've been hiding yourself. This could be shame as in like obvious shame, like feeling ashamed about something, or it could be very unconscious shame that's just in some way held you back from expressing yourself, or making a move or doing something daring or bold. There could be a level or a layer within you that I feel you're working out of this month. I feel you're breaking free from it. I feel that you're seeing what it is, or at very least, you're just totally breaking through from it and all of a sudden stepping into a new version of yourself. And it's going to translate in how you are communicating, how you are showing up, the choices you make, a direction in your life. It could have something to do with a relationship as well, but I feel that you're breaking through a layer that where in the past had really held you back. Okay, and I also have the new and full moon readings here too, so I'll get into those in just a moment. But like I said, you have the Two of Cups and the Six of Cups. I mean, look at that. You have, I mean, for some of you, it's either a return of a relationship, it's healing a relationship, or it's a relationship becoming stronger and more connected. And it's something around, I mean, for some of you, it could be a reflection of you healing your child self, healing something deeper within yourself that brings a relationship closer to you, or it reflects in a relationship dynamic around you, or it's going to be someone who you have a very, very, very strong soul kind of relationship with, like a soulmate type of thing, or something very deep and very beautiful. That's going to be a highlight for the month. The challenge is the Fountain and the Four of Pentacles. So the challenge in some way is, I feel it's going to be this. I feel with the Four of Pentacles means where we become very financially, well, we're in financial fear. Like we're approaching life through the perception and the relation with lack and scarcity, and we hold on to our finances very, very tightly. We don't want to spend money. We don't want to let go. But it also reflects in our energy. It reflects in many aspects of our life, right? But I feel that the relationship with money, that the relationship that this, I don't know if it's going to resonate with you or not, but the relationship that you might be having with money is coming from a deeper spiritual aspect within yourself that hasn't been looked at and has not been addressed. And I feel that you're going to be facing it this month, and it's going to be a challenge. It's something that I feel you have to work through within yourself that's coming from a deeper spiritual understanding of life and energy, and money being a byproduct of how we feel about ourselves on a deeper level. Not money being at the foreground, chasing money, acquiring money, building a life around material gain. That's all the byproduct of what's happening within here and how we feel about ourselves on a deeper level. And I feel that's the challenge this month, is figuring that out. Or maybe you're going to be faced with a challenge financially that's going to try to push you to look at finances differently, or your relationship with finances and your relationship with the material realm. I mean, even myself going through what I've gone through, I've had to get stripped of everything over and over and over and over again until I learned my lesson and my true relationship with money and where it came from. And I found really at the foundation of it is lack, fear, survival. You know, when we're really holding on to money and the thought of money and the context of money and making money and even our possessions and our material things. You've known, I'm sure you know the saying that we are born with nothing, we leave with nothing. And that really is the context of it. It doesn't mean that context of this. It doesn't mean that we can't have what we want. It means to look at the relationship that we place on ourselves and that we place on money and what we need and what we want and what we own. When the relationship changes with that context, the relationship with money and life and ourself changes, because we're changing something within ourself and our perceptions and our attachments, and also so that we can have more, so we can be more, so we can create more, so we can have more. And the way that I feel in this way, the relationship with money, the way it's approached is in a limiting way. It's in a restrictive way. So there's something here that's allowing you, it's like pushing you, or you're going to have almost a realization about it, or maybe it's the challenge is figuring it out, you know, finding out what your relationship is with money and where is it coming from within a deeper place of yourself. Something of that nature. Your guidance is the Page of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords, Aquarius. Page of Pentacles is to build that foundation. And a lot of it is through thought. A lot of it is through discernment, analysis, planning, researching, using the thoughts to distill information, to develop logical and a strategic and logical and intelligent approach. Being very, very mindful, thinking things through, covering all the details, covering all the bases, building your foundation, the Page of Pentacles. That's your guidance for this month. And communication as well. Okay. Your full moon in Sagittarius message is take time to breathe out. Relax, breathe through it. You have the Hangman and the Six of Pentacles as well during the full moon in Sagittarius. You're going to have, I feel, a bit of a realization about something, and I feel it's to do with money. I feel it has something to do with money, maybe even dependencies, or feeling disempowered, maybe in some kind of way to carve something out of your own, maybe being dependent on others. I feel that there's going to be a big significant realization about money and finances, and something that's going to allow you to bring this into balance. Now, if it's not money and finances, it's going to do with a relationship. It's going to have something to do with a relationship, of bringing a relationship into balance and equal reciprocity, equal give and take. Maybe something on that line, on those, within those aspects. But yeah, you're going to have a very strong realization. I feel it's around money. I feel it's around finances and your relationship with worth, and also even how you're valuing yourself, and maybe the balance within yourself of equal give and take, reciprocity. Maybe for some of you, you've been giving too much. Maybe some of you don't value yourself enough. And so I think there's something coming into balance here this month. You're seeing something new. You're seeing something within yourself that you haven't realized before. The new moon in Cancer, I don't know the date, I haven't looked yet, but it's later portion of the month. You have the answers you need are coming, and the Page of Cups. So a lot of new energy coming in this month. You have two pages here. New moon in Cancer, Cancer season, the mother archetype, the archetype that develops our intuition, our heart, our emotions, our child self. You have a lot of this energy coming through here of love, of opening your heart, of expression, of vulnerability, and very creative energy as well, creativity. The answers you need are coming with Gemini full moon during the new moon in Cancer. Is something again around communication, which I feel is a theme this month. Communication can set yourself free. It can open your heart. It can free yourself of what you've been hiding from for some of you, shame. So the more vulnerable and the open you are, I feel it's going to set you free, and the answers you need are coming. It's like the answers maybe within yourself, or the answers maybe within another person or relationship dynamic, like I said. The Knight of Fire and the Sun leading to death and a victory, 6 of Fire underneath it. Yeah, follow your fire. I feel for some of you, you're going to all of a sudden make a move. You're just all of a sudden, something's either going to come in, or you're going to feel very sporadic, very impulsive to take charge of something. And it's going to allow you to move through another layer that has been weighing you down in some form. It's a breakthrough moment this month. If it is through self-expression, expressing your heart, maybe creative work of some kind, I feel that when you take that impulsive move, you're all of a sudden going to say, I'm just going to do this. I'm just going to go for it. Yeah, you might have a moment of death, but it leads to a victory. It leads to a victory. Oh, bottom of the deck, or sorry, the animal oracle is the starfish spirit, open to infinite possibilities. That's a number 59, open to infinite possibilities. All right there, Leo, wishing you all the best in the month of June and beyond. See you soon. All right, Virgo, we are looking into the month of June. We do have the full moon and the new moon readings here as well. So you can come back to this video at any time, later portion of the month for the new moon in Cancer, just as a refresh. But your main energy for the month of June is a grand symphony. This has to do with finding your place in the greater context of something. So it really is honoring your uniqueness, honoring who you are, your unique self, your unique talents and traits and interests, and being part of something greater based on where you, I don't want to say fit in, but it's being part of something greater by honoring you, by honoring your uniqueness, your contributions, your offerings, your special, unique gifts to this world. And I feel that you're feeling it more, or you're honoring it more, or you're contemplating on it. And it's going to allow you to unlock something greater within your heart. You have great big love, and it's removing yourself of guilt in some kind of way. So some of you may have been holding yourself back from fully allowing yourself to develop or grow or be or arrive in some form without the guilt, without feeling bad about something. And this guilt can run so deep under the surface. It can be very obvious. Some of you might be knowing what I'm saying, but some of you may not maybe be so certain, but it could feel right deep down. You know, we can hold ourselves back. I've worked through this myself. We can hold ourselves back in many ways, but we don't really understand where it's coming from. Just that we're unable to move forward. We're unable to express ourselves. We're unable to feel confident with who we truly are deep down. There can be many layers of guilt within ourselves, but I feel when you honor more of who you are, your uniqueness, everything unique about you, and finding your place and your rhythm with maybe in a certain sphere, a certain community, a certain group, whatever it is, and honor it. The more you do that, I feel the more you're going to dissolve, the more guilt you're going to be dissolving within yourself, and you're going to reach this big, massive, great big love. You're going to unlock the cage of guilt, unlock from the imprisonment of guilt, and reach great big love, which is unconditional love. It's as big as it can get. So guilt can come in many different forms. The false belief usually tied to guilt is I am not doing enough, or I am not doing things right. So there could be maybe something to reflect on there for this month. But this is a very significant time where you're going to unlock something very important. Okay. Your main theme from the tarot for the month is the Nine of Cups and the Sun. And the Sun is this childlike energy. That's kind of going back to what I was saying earlier, this childlike energy that's starting to come out where you're feeling more of who you are, liberated, free, lighter, expressive, and is leading to an incredible amount of self gratification, self contentment, peace, alignment. Your challenge this month is the High Priestess and the Nine of Swords. The challenge is the mind might be overriding the intuition. There may be fears coming in, the what ifs. What if this? What if I get judged? What if this happens? What if I don't succeed? What if? And it's overriding your deeper knowing, your High Priestess. So the mind versus the inner knowing are going to be at conflict because you're starting to break through into more of who you are and into maybe more of your calling or your essence of child self, the sun, enjoyment, liberation. It's normal. Like I don't know how many times I've gone through this myself where I'm stepping forward into more of who I am, more of what I believe in, more of my calling. But I run into fear. I sit by myself and I'm constantly in my mind. But then I know deep down inside what's right, what feels right. There's this constant battle going on within myself at any given time. Mostly, not like I know how to turn it off as well, but I feel this is going to be highlighted. So just be aware, listen to the High Priestess, listen to your inner self, listen to your intuition. If you find your mind coming in is going to show you something about your deeper self that needs to be released, that needs to be acknowledged. That's in the shadow. It's like the shadow. This is kind of like shadowy work here. That's the challenge. But it's going to help you move through something very significant. The guidance is the Three of Cups and the Hierophant. And the Hierophant is seeking and searching, maybe more greater spiritual guidance, spiritual or even personal development, growth, development. This can be through working with someone or even online, through studying, through researching. Some of you also, let's see, there's something else coming through here. The Three of Cups is going to be to have fun this month, to embrace your child self, to take the seriousness off of life, to spend time with friends even, or just enjoyment. But the Hierophant, and there's something else coming through here. I feel as to break through structures and even traditions that have once held you back, or maybe the traditions is part of this guilt. Maybe for some of you, it's Catholic guilt, maybe. But it could be societal. There could be just maybe go back and reflect if it's resonating with you on child upbringing, child experiences, formative experiences, societal, cultural, and religious experiences for some. This could be a very, very subtle message for some of you out there. I mean, it could be a very important message for a very small group of you, but the Hierophant could be something around breaking beliefs and patterns that have been imposed on you from society or from religious structures where it's prevented you from fully expressing yourself or fully being yourself, or not feeling bad for being you in some way. If it's a way of expressing a being, maybe, sexual orientation or who knows what, right? It could be anything. But yeah, that's kind of coming through here. Anyway, I hope that resonates. Your full moon in Sagittarius reading now. Full moon coming in on the 11th of June. You have Don't Let Your Pride Get in Your Way and the World. The full moon is going to push you through the end of a chapter, and it is giving you the sun. The World is when we arrive at a greater state of individuation and wholeness of ourself when we've gone through the stages of the major arcana. So, but it's met with pride. There's something here, pride can be anything of not admitting something to ourselves or not wanting to be vulnerable in some kind of way and creating a persona or a story that makes us look good in the public eye or looks good around people. But it's a facade. It's an illusion that we create because we feel in some kind of way that we're not good enough, right? And that's going to come down to that guilt thing again, I feel, for some of you, if it's resonating. So the pride is, for some reason, is kind of it's like the missing key to the next chapter in your life, or the next level of your being, where when you unlock this pride and you just become real and vulnerable and open with yourself and honest, and not try to present yourself in a certain way or be perfect or have things all figured out and have it all together, just being and understanding it from a place of compassion and from a place of your internal knowing of maybe even a higher version of yourself, I feel it will unlock a major, major chapter in your life, and it will allow for a great deal of weight to be lifted from yourself as well. Now we get into the new moon in Cancer, later portion of the month. You have the new moon in Scorpio and the Six of Cups. Work through your fears. This is also going to give you powerful change. So very, very significant month. The Six of Cups during the new moon in Cancer, Cancerian energy, the mother with the six archetype of the month. It's all about family and love and relationships and healing the relationship with our child self, within ourself, and the relationships in our closest environment. So this could have to do with children, child self, family members highlighted here, but there's fear that has been developed somewhere in there that's preventing the relationship to become closer. So there's a big change in a particular relationship dynamic on the emotional front, and it's deep, deep, deep scorpionic realization here that's going to come to the surface about a particular relationship dynamic by the end of the month. And you could also, for some of you, have healed by the end of the month, healed a very significant relationship in your life. If it is someone from your past, like a mother, father, sibling, relative, or someone in your life currently where you have a past relationship, you have a very deep past with. You have a very deep past with. That past story is going to start to unravel and heal once you work through your fears and once you let go of your pride. I feel that's part of the story. Okay, you have Page of Wands underneath the bottom of the deck, believing in yourself, but you also have the Devil. So it's a month of wrestling the inner paradigms of maybe addiction, limitations, fears, what has felt familiar that has held you back from fully believing in yourself and going for it, chasing your dreams, moving into your whole self, being limitless, being the creator of your reality. You also have the Animal Oracle number 16, which is a karmic debt number. It is the Tower, and it also is the Trickster, the Coyote spirit. Trust in divine detours. The Coyote spirit is the trickster archetype, which does invite change through chaos and destruction. So there's something here pertaining to, there's a change, and it's for your greatest good and highest potential. So the trickster archetype, when we have not embodied the archetype within ourselves, we get tricked. We fall under the spell of the trick, and we don't see the lessons that are learned, that are available for us to learn and for us to change. So there's a little bit of a change here that's coming in for your highest good and greatest potential if you can let go and see it as that. All right, Virgo, interesting reading. Let me know if that resonates. I'm wishing you all the best in the month of June and beyond. Take care. All right, Libra, we have here your reading for the month of June. I also have the full moon and the new moon here as well. Okay, so we have the spirit of gratitude coming through here for the month of June. I feel that you're going to have a lot to be grateful for. We also have Venus in Taurus for, I think, 2 weeks, maybe 3, but really nice energy. I mean, Venus is in Taurus's, Taurus. Venus is in Taurus. Excuse me. Venus is in Taurus. Ruling planet is Venus for Taurus, right? So, and you're also ruled by Venus, of course. So I feel just naturally there's going to be a really nice start to the month. And we also have Jupiter moving into Cancer, which is, I think across the board from what I've heard, it's a very, very positive transit for a lot of people. That said, you have a lot of good stuff going on here. So you have a lot to be grateful for. I feel that you're going to be feeling it. I feel that you're going to be enjoying the pleasures of life. I feel that you're going to be feeling uplifted. I feel that there might be some tension in some certain areas, which I'll get to, but that's life. You know, that's our human nature. That's what we do. Opening to discovery also. I feel some of you are searching and seeking a little bit. You could be going into maybe the past, maybe into some past family patterns. I think you could be maybe even some of you looking for answers within certain areas to find clarity. But even for some of you, I feel the deeper you go, the more you discover, the more grateful you're going to be. You could be unlocking areas or unlocking layers and levels within yourself, or you could be opening up new avenues for opportunity within your life. Now, this is where things get interesting. You have the 10 of Pentacles and the Devil as your main energy for the month. 10 of Pentacles represents it's in some way, some kind of final completion to do with finances, your home, family, stability, security. But you have the Devil tied to it. And I feel for some of you, you could be working towards this, but there's something that you've been, I feel, grappling with and dealing with for a while that has been preventing you from feeling like you can have it or that you're there. And I feel in some way it's sort of reverse engineering this whole manifestation thing and the believing and the reality and seeing what you have. I feel this month, in order to dissolve the Devil, it has something to do with focusing on the 10 of Pentacles, what that is for you, maybe a healthy, happy home environment. Maybe it is achieving a certain level of financial wealth and success. I feel it's being in your place where you are, feeling as if you already have it, acting as if you already have it. Who is the person that is living in that reality of you being there already? And acting as if you already have it, rather than falling into the trap of the Devil, of what's been pulling you back from pulling your beliefs away from believing you can have it, believing that you're there, believing that you're here. So the Devil in some way is the chains back into the imprisonment of where you've been, of the fear, the worry, the doubt. Maybe some of you, there's addiction here, but the addiction also, it can be addictive behavior, but it also can be addicted to what has felt familiar. And we do this unconsciously. These are not conscious patterns. The Devil is when we get stuck to something that isn't healthy and limiting us. It could be anything, but it's some way preventing you from this, the 10 of Pentacles, this final completion, this final, I don't want to say final as in the final, but it's in maybe even believing in it, or connecting with your dreams in some way, or connecting with the knowing of who you are in that future reality or in that story. And that is already here. You're creating it right now. Something along those lines. So anyway, I hope that resonates. Your challenge is the High Priestess. Virgo had this as well. You also have the 8 of Fire. The challenge this month is I'm going to say the same for Virgo. It's not listening to your intuition and not listening to your higher self. Maybe for some of you, you're not seeing the results you want, or maybe you're wanting more movement and more flow, and it might trip you up and it may set you back into some past patterns, and there may be frustration, and the Devil might override the High Priestess, where you might be feeling as though maybe maybe I can't have what I want, or maybe I can't create it, or maybe I can't be the person I want to be to make it happen. However it lands with you, the High Priestess has taken the back seat this month because of the Devil. The Devil is almost taking precedence over, or almost dominating the High Priestess in some kind of way. And this is all happening under the surface. The High Priestess lives under the surface. And the 8 of Fire, I feel that if the High Priestess is not being acknowledged and not being worked with, I should say, then there's going to be a lack of movement within oneself regarding creative ideas, channeling information, channeling insights, the inner knowing with the 8 of Fire. And maybe for some of you, if again there's a lack of movement, it may activate old patterns of the Devil, therefore overriding the High Priestess, the inner knowing, being able to peer beyond the illusions for inner truth. Your guidance for the month is the Page of Pentacles and the Two of Swords. Something is strange. The Two of Swords is your guidance. It's always a weird card when it comes up for guidance. It's almost saying to put something on hold, or to try not to try not to work too fast. The Page of the Page of Pentacles as well is really about building the foundation and doing what you need to do to make that solid, to make that be your foundation for years to come. Not just thinking about quick fixes and quick success and quick solutions and ways out of where we've been. This is something needs to be put on hold, or at least take your time to build that foundation and build it well. I feel that's going to be an important one. All right, so let's look at the moons. So you have the full moon in Sagittarius. You got the full moon in Sagittarius for the full moon in Sagittarius, so congratulations. Look at the bigger picture. You are going to have greater insight about maybe your greater path in life, the world. You're going to see, you are going to realize that you are at some kind of massive turning point in your life. If it is within your internal self, or if it is within your, well, it will be within your internal self, but it also is going to be reflective of your outer environment, your life. Yeah, some of you are going to have a very significant realization. You're going to have maybe something break open, like a new realization, a new perspective, perception. It's going to allow you to see your life through a greater landscape, through a greater lens. And you're going to know that you're here. I feel that you're going to have almost an ease and a knowing of, this is actually happening. I am here. I am exactly where I need to be. This is unfolding the way it needs to be and to unfold. And I feel that you're going to realize how far you've come. I feel it's going to be very significant. And you have in the new moon in Cancer, a new start is coming, and the Tower. Wow. So that's the shift. The shift is going to come from an inner realization. You're here. And when you realize you're here, I'm here, I've done this, got this, I've gone through the change. I know where I'm going. I understand myself more. It's going to come from nonverbal cues and clues. This is an internal knowing. And that internal knowing and that realization that you're going to have during the full moon in Sagittarius is turning the dial. It's flipping the switch, however you want to say it. It's changing something very significant, and a new start is coming because of it. A new version of yourself, a new realization, a new path forward, a new career path, a new anything is going to show up. Really cool reading. Okay, so you also have the Six of Pentacles, Temperance, restoring balance also this month, focusing on restoring balance within your finances, bringing it into balance. You also have bottom of the deck, but the Animal Oracle. It is at the bottom of the deck here, but Animal Oracle number 35, I think. Spirit has a plan. Spirit has a plan. So there's a plan for you unfolding right now. And I feel when you feel it and sense it and understand it deeply, that is when the shift is going to happen. There's something greater for you unfolding for you. I think you're going to understand during the full moon in Sagittarius. All right, Libra, wishing you all the best during this time and beyond. Take care. Okay, Scorpio. This month is a bit of a slower month, it seems, especially with the moon energies. It's sort of this like, I feel you're going to be taking your time this month. I feel that it's a slower time. I feel you're going to be very attuned with yourself, with people, with information. You do have Ears Wide Open that came out for you. This is a number 33, power number or master number. Ears Wide Open. And you also have Birds of a Feather. Ooh, and a powerful move right underneath it. Okay. Birds of a Feather with a powerful move. And underneath it is the Oracle's Gift. All right. I won't get too far into it, but the Ears Wide Open is when you're really attuned. You can see this, I think it's a fox, and his ears are really big and his eyes are focused. It's becoming really attuned with other people. It may be on the flip side into hypervigilance, where be very cautious of trying to look for what's wrong or look for the faults, or be attuned to things that don't really matter so much, but they may be coming from a place of fear or control or something deeper. But birds of a feather, I feel for some of you, it's like it's sort of is by working with people or connecting with others, you're going to find out more information and you're going to learn a lot, I feel, in some capacity, in some way. And when you meet people, you're going to be listening really well. You're going to be listening really well. You're going to be taking in a lot of information. You might be learning a lot through other people, and it's going to allow you to make a powerful move, and in whatever way that is. Maybe for some of you, you're becoming more empowered about your position with other people, where you fit in, or maybe even a role of leadership or taking charge in some kind of way. But just be cautious. I feel there's like a real fine line with the ears wide open. It can be great for receiving information and taking information in, or it can be almost in a way too much where there's a bit of hypervigilance and even looking for the wrong, looking for the bad within things, or being too sensitive. And I don't want to say too sensitive as in a bad way, but it can override the information that can actually help you move into something greater. Okay, so the Four of Wands and the Two of Swords is your main read for the month of June. The Two of Swords is coming out a lot right now for some strange reason, but I feel in one way you're aligning with your path, I mean, maybe for some of you, it could be reflective of family and relationships, very harmonious kind of homecoming, the Four of Wands, but it also can be your destined path, the destined path of your homecoming, right? Like you're returning to what you're meant to do, like your essence of self in some form. And I feel the earlier message has something to do with this. To do with other people. You're going to be learning a lot through that. That's going to help you on your path to what you're meant to do in some form. But the Two of Swords is holding back on something. So you might be, like I said, the ears wide open. I feel just be cautious again of the information you're taking in, because some of you might be holding back or using the information in some way. It could be self-sabotage in some form. Maybe there's a very subtle message there. So just be aware. Your challenge for the month is the Moon and the Page of Fire. For some of you, the challenge is going to be fear. It's going to be working through your own fears. And again, I feel it has to maybe, or my earlier message of the hypervigilance, maybe, but the Moon is the fears and illusions, distorted perceptions. So some of you could be looking for the truth, and maybe the Moon is your catalyst to break through some patterns or break through some illusions so you can align more with who you are and what's important for you, and maybe even create greater relationships or a greater network in some kind of way. And the Page of Fire is, some of you might be doubting yourself this month, or maybe not believing in yourself because of old fears. There's old scripts and stories coming up to the surface that are sabotaging you in some kind of way or pulling you back from moving forward and believing in you. Your guidance for the month is the Ace of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. Your way through your challenge this month is through your heart, is through opening your heart more, being more vulnerable, more expressive, letting life in, letting people in, maybe being more creative. Maybe for some of you, that's a mode of creative expression in what you're doing and how you resonate with people and how you connect with people. And the more you connect with people from the Page of Cups, well, it's going to lead you to the Ten of Pentacles. It's going to lead you to a greater maybe success story, financial worth and wealth, maybe even something to do with relationships and love, maybe a love relationship that's going to be part of your story of the homecoming, building your home, family, unity. Queen of Water at the bottom of the deck with the Four of Swords as well. Yeah, the more you connect with your heart, the more you tune in with your emotions, the more relaxed you're going to be. I feel that's the bottom line. I feel there's an opportunity here this month to, well, this is also the essence of the 6 archetype, the universal month number 6, and Cancer season, later portion of the month, which is just that. I mean, it's a very nice energy for you, for all the water signs especially are going to be feeling it, and it's going to bring everything down to a nice, slower, nurturing, more loving, more compassionate pace. Okay, the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th, you have be bold and make the first move, 10 of Cups. Be bold and make the first move during the full moon. If you make a bold move during the full moon in Sagittarius, it's going to bring some kind of level of harmony and, well, we'll say harmony, maybe healing, maybe unity with you and another person or you and family. So there's a change here that can happen that may bring you and another person closer, or maybe you closer with your family or family matters or something really close to you. And that is the essence of the 6th this month. So if you make a first move, it could initiate something. It could you could initiate something. You could heal something. You could take a step in a direction that's going to be a catalyst for change. Maybe even for some of you, bringing people together, or it's going to be very significant. It might seem minor for some, but it's going to set something in motion that will change the course of events for the future. Your new moon in Cancer is the energies gaining momentum and the Page of Earth. So during the new moon in Cancer, you're going to have a bit more energy coming in. And you're also going to get serious about building something. You're going to get serious about investing into your future, maybe even investing into a relationship, but investing into building a very solid foundation for your future. You could have gained a lot of information through this month, and you're now bringing it into something grounded. You're now doing something with it. So the beginning portion of the month is I feel it's kind of like bringing information together, searching, seeking, distilling, interpreting, gathering. It could be through the senses, it could be through anything. And then all of a sudden, at the end of the month, you are able to build something with it. You have a new knowing, you have a new direction, or maybe even just the foundation of what you want to build for your future. You also have the Animal Oracle number 25, which is Eagle Spirit. And that is Spirit has your back. So believe that Spirit has your back. You are protected. You are guided. So listen to your inner voice, I feel, most importantly. All right, Scorpio, wishing you all the best during this month and beyond. Take care. All right, Sagittarius, let's look at the month of June. I do have the full moon in Sagittarius here, as well as the new moon in Cancer. And you can come back later portion of June as well and take a look at or re-watch the video and get a refresh on what the reading is for you for the month of June, especially for the new moon in Cancer later portion. Okay, we have here Roots of Abundance number 2 for your main message for June. Some of you are anchoring into something, and it comes from Exposed and Revealed, which you can see the person huddled in this ball, or it's like a fetal position, hugging themselves in. And it signifies, I feel, in this case, where you're anchoring into something solid after coming out of your shell. And the shell could have been created by shame, some kind of shame of I'm not enough, or concealing oneself. I feel it's been a significant undergoing for you, where the more you have pursued this direction of breaking through the shells of shame, or the beliefs of shame, or the experiences, the more anchored in you're going to be with yourself, within yourself, the more confident you're going to be within yourself, of course, but is helping you grow something out of it. It can be very much tied to your career, tied with your career. In a way of how you are showing up, how you are maybe expressing yourself, and maybe what you're creating as well. Okay, going into the tarot for the main energy or the main message for the month is the Nine of Swords and Lovers. Some of you have a choice to make this month, and it's a choice to do with your true path and who you truly are. Some of you, it may have to do with the love situation where there's a stress over it for some reason. But I feel for many of you, I feel the main message here is a choice that you're embarking on, or a path you're embarking on, or a choice you have to make that is an internal choice. And I feel it's bringing a lot of stress and pressure because it's activating old patterns. It's activating shame in a way of not wanting to show the world the real you, or not wanting to be exposed, or feeling that if you make this decision to embark on this path, or to be more of yourself, or to whatever it is, there's fear behind it, because in some way you're feeling like you're going to be seen more. So there's a lot of this Nine of Swords coming in with it. Now, on the flip side, it could be literally a love situation here. Lovers could be a relationship, with the Nine of Swords behind it. So there could be some stress or pressure, or I would say stress, around a love situation in particular this month. But it's not bad. I don't feel it's leading to anything negative per se. It's just in the way that maybe the situation's being interpreted. Okay, so your challenge for this month is the High Priestess and the Emperor. And the High Priestess is coming out a lot this month for the challenge. And maybe it's because we're moving into Cancer season. It is a 6-month in numerology. We have the new moon in Cancer. So maybe there's something here around really exploring our intuition, or maybe, well, in this case, it's the challenge. So it's in a way, it's kind of, it's funny. I don't feel that it's suppressing the intuition, but I feel it with the Emperor and the High Priestess. I feel it has to do with understanding deeper subconscious, unconscious patterns and relationships to the masculine. And the masculine could be the patriarchy. It could be a father figure. It could be in a relationship. It could be within self. We all have the masculine, feminine archetypes within ourselves. And the challenge this month is something around a deep dive into the masculine archetype, either within yourself or within someone around you, to uncover a hidden truth, a hidden aspect of yourself that's going to lead to the roots of abundance. It has a very significant relationship to something that you want to anchor into. And remember, the Emperor is the architect of our reality. The Emperor is the logical mind, manifesting from practicality, critical thinking, authority, practicality, I think I said, right? Yeah. So there's something here where there's going to be a significant need. I don't know if it's a need, but it's definitely a challenge. But I feel that once you unlock it, it's going to bring up more information for you to move forward and break through a very significant layer within yourself, or reality within the unconscious, subconscious. Your guidance for the month is the Hermit and the Page of Fire. This is your guidance. The guidance is to go inward, to seek, to go deeper. I mean, this might be also activated during your 2 butterflies right there. Yeah, they're flying around. That's cool. The Hermit this might be activated during your full moon in Sagittarius, where you may be prompted to go inward to search and seek. And that inner journey is going to uncover more of your true self. It's going to also free yourself so that you will believe in yourself more. Or maybe the guidance here is to believe in yourself more. And what does it mean to co-create with the universe? What does it mean when you fully believe in yourself? Or how does that feel within yourself when you are there? Okay, so the full moon in Sagittarius, your full moon on the 11th, is all about stepping out of your comfort zone, right? Stepping out of your comfort zone and being more of who you are meant to be, who you want to be, what you are working towards in your life, etc. And the 10 of Wands also during the full moon is, I feel, stepping out of your comfort zone. I feel you're already doing it. I feel that for some of you, you're already stepping out of your comfort zone. You're already at least thinking about it, working towards it, contemplating it, or maybe you've already taken your first steps. But this full moon is going to bring up the pressure associated with it. And the pressure associated with it could come from self-imposed, well, mostly is self-imposed pressure that we put on ourselves. Feeling the weight of it in some kind of way because you know that you have to step into more of yourself. This full moon is going to push you into more of who you are meant to be, who you are, and what you're meant to do. And there's a lot of pressure around it. There's a lot of pressure around how do I show up? What does this mean? I have a lot of work to do. Maybe internal pressures of shame, right? And this full moon is going to reveal something, again, very, very significant. Then you have the new moon in Cancer, later portion of the month. The answers you need are coming, and the Queen of Pentacles. The new moon in Cancer is going to bring information to the surface. It might illuminate something. And it also is going to, or you are going to anchor into something more stable by the new moon in Cancer. Full moon in Sagittarius is the push. It's the push out of your comfort zone. And then by the new moon in Cancer, later portion of the month, you're anchoring into the groundedness, into the roots of it, anchoring into the reality of it, and being really wise and sinking into it, I feel, into something more practical, into something more grounded, into more of a rhythm with it, into more trust with it. And the answers you need are coming. Well, you might have the answers show up within you, or there may be some information coming to you during the new moon in Cancer. You also have the Eight of Cups at the bottom of the deck with Temperance. This month, I feel Temperance is your card. I feel that you could be distilling information. I feel, yes, the inner journey is going to be really important. Definite alchemy process going on this month. Huge, actually, for you. And it's going to allow you to move on from emotional complexities or emotional weight that has been holding you back or weighing you down. So through the process, there's a lot of this distilling going on, a lot of processing, a lot of transmutation. With the Animal Oracle, you have Be Here Now, Hummingbird Spirit, and this is a number 34. Be here now, present moment, being in the present moment, and navigating this month, which is going to be very important for you, I feel, by being in the present moment. Dissecting, listening, transmuting, understanding, reflecting. Hermit. Hermit is your guidance, right, for this month ahead. All right there, Sagittarius, wishing you all the best for this month and beyond, and take care. Okay, Capricorn, we are looking into the month of June. I also have the full moon in Sagittarius, new moon in Cancer readings here on the table as well. So you can come back and listen to this video later if you like, as a refresh for the new moon in Cancer later portion of the month. But for this month, your main energy, your main message is broken open, but it's also with bearing fruit and shining through. So you're broken open. Some of you either have gone through quite a big inner shift, maybe something really difficult. You already went through it, or you're going through it now, or you're going to go through it this month, where that broken open is going to reveal something deeper about yourself and deeper about life. And it's going to also give you fruit. It's going to bear fruit. It comes with a gift. And it's going to also allow you to be more of yourself, to express more of yourself. There's a lot of positive outcomes that are coming with this. All right. So even if you're facing it where you're still going through the motion of healing or making sense of a big change in your life, or something that hurt, or something that was life-shattering, there's a lot coming with it that is good. There are a lot of good things that are going to evolve from it, or maybe already are taking form. Your main message for the month of June, Devil and the Four of Wands, which basically signifies here that I feel in a way that you've been put on your path of, I feel it's greater self, a greater sense of self, because of maybe a realization. The Devil could be, I mean, that's your card as well, a big lesson that you went through. Maybe you're still grappling with some patterns, or maybe some of you could be a relationship, or it could be addictive behaviors or something there. That's cycling through, but I feel that you're seeing it more now. I feel that your broken open is a big shift of perception and a shift of realization towards something that you may not have seen before within yourself. And it may have been activated from maybe another person, maybe for some of you. Yeah, the devil is going to show up this month as an opportunity to work through a pattern, a cycle, an attachment, maybe an addiction, maybe whatever it is, to set yourself on course for this direction towards your destiny. I feel also it's going to lead you to more harmonious relationships and partnerships. This devil energy is coming in here as a catalyst in some kind of way. We sometimes can look at the devil as more of a negative, as more as a challenge, but this truly is a catalyst for you to align and for you to have more and experience more. Your challenge of the month is the, what is this? 10 of Swords. My brain stalled for a moment. 10 of Swords and the 2 of Wands is your challenge. Yeah, you're right at, I feel there's still something ending. There's still a shedding and a release that's happening this month, where some of you might be in some way, I feel, holding on to what's felt familiar, maybe an old story, maybe an old pattern, and something, an attachment where in a way the devil is not letting you let go of it. And it could be to anything. It could be an attachment to a thought, to a memory, to a person, to a story that you don't want to budge on. And the 2 of Wands is at a crossroads, but not really sure where to go with it. You might feel a bit of a stall, a bit of a hesitation, uncertain of really where life is taking you, maybe feeling as though you don't really have a say in the story of life. So you might be feeling very, very confined and very limited or trapped in some form, but that's changing. This is all, we all have challenges and we all have the full spectrum of life, right? And I feel, excuse me, I feel in one level, there is a bit of on one side, there's more of you opening up, or there's an opportunity for you to open up. And then on the other side is, well, the path of life is a bit convoluted and a bit confusing right now. Your guidance through this is the Lovers and the Emperor. Some of you, it could be to bring a relationship closer. It could be a father figure. It could be a divine someone. It doesn't have to be a man. It could be someone with masculine traits. It could be also for you to make a choice through embodying the masculine archetype within you. So taking charge, making a decision based on your masculine principles. So it could be through authority. It could be architecting your reality, taking charge, taking initiative, being practical, pragmatic, maybe supporting someone in some kind of way, being the anchor, the support to someone also. And maybe to yourself. Lovers can be a person, it can be a love relationship, but it also can be yourself. Making a choice to become more empowered, maybe making a choice to embody more of the masculine archetype within yourself, or to heal the masculine archetype within yourself. The full moon in Sagittarius brings don't let pride get in your way, plus the Ace of Pentacles. You have a new opportunity that's showing up here around the full moon, and the full moon is on the 11th. So around the mid portion of the month-ish, you're going to have a new opportunity either come to you or that you will create. But you have, don't let pride get in your way. So be very honest and vulnerable about yourself and your situation and what you want to create. Try not to, in this way, when we are operating through pride, we can tend to hide a lot of ourselves and hide parts of our life that we may feel ashamed of, or that we may not like, or that we may have avoided in some kind of way to put on a show or put on something that seems a little bit more to our liking, or the way that we think people will want to see, if that made sense. But yeah, it's basically dropping the shields, becoming more vulnerable, and that is going to help you create something as well. That's going to help you with your business, or it's going to help you create something or change something. And the new moon in Cancer coming in later portion of the month. The end of a tough cycle approaches. You have Capricorn and Cancer. The Knight of Cups. So the new moon in Cancer coming in later portion of the month, you will definitely be dropping into your heart. You will be feeling more vulnerable. You will be feeling more expressive, and you will be leading through your heart, by your heart. This also will help, I feel, dissolve any feelings of hardship or hard work. I feel the tone of working, even if you have a job or if you're building something, or even the thought of work is going to change. I feel there's a softer tone, there's a more gentler tone, and maybe even with regards to a relationship, you moving forward with more love and more tenderness and more care and compassion. And I feel it's going to change a cycle completely. And it's also going to be very, very helpful for your career too. You also may find during the new moon in Cancer, you may find that all of a sudden, yeah, I feel it's a shift. I feel it's from working hard or putting so much pressure on work and money to something softer. I feel that the tone is going to shift very dramatically, and you're going to be all of a sudden sinking into something more meaningful, tender, again, creative, maybe even from a place of creativity, but also, even if you're working with others, a place of compassion, a place of deep resonance with others. You have number 53, Seahorse Spirit, watch and wait. Watch and wait. So taking your time. I feel there's something here unfolding within you, most importantly, where, I know we put a lot of pressure on time and results and we have our expectations, but I feel there's something here that needs time to reveal, which it will. And it's going to shift the way you are working, the way you are sensing, the way you are interpreting relationships and your path and yourself. It's a very important phase right now, I feel, that you're going to uncover this month. All right, Capricorn, wishing you all the best during this month and beyond, and take care. All right, Aquarius, we are looking into the month of June, and I also have the readings for the full moon in Sagittarius and the new moon in Cancer, but we're looking at the full month here. You can come back and also watch the reading again later portion of the month, pertaining more to the new moon in Cancer. But your main theme for the month is the divine, it's the divine matrix and into me I see. This is a number 4. This is a number 8. This is a number 44. So you have 2 8s here on the table. And the into me I see is, the into me I see is learning the most about yourself through interpersonal relationships, the mirroring effect, really starting to understand how it works and learning more about yourself through your interpersonal relationships, your closest relationships. And then the divine matrix is creating a reality based on what you've learned, based on a new version of yourself, based on new findings about who you are, about relationship dynamics. And the divine matrix is weaving a whole new reality based on new insights, new information that you have about yourself. So it's a very powerful number. And I feel but a powerful card. And I feel you've had the divine matrix, I think, a few times this year, doing these readings. I think it's come up. I think for you or Scorpio, it's you, and I feel it's come up for both of those readings so far. Okay, so we have here the main message for the month is death and the Page of Fire, which signifies a very strong transformation that's going to happen this month. And I feel you're going to have greater realizations about yourself. And it could even be triggered through relationships. It could be triggered through other people. But regardless, you're going to have a very significant change within you this month that's going to lead to greater belief within yourself, believing in yourself, believing in your potential, stepping into maybe a new experience, a new path, but with a lot of excitement. And this is where the manifestation comes in, the divine matrix of weaving your new reality based on shedding of the old, letting go or releasing from something old, an old version of yourself, maybe old relationship dynamics, maybe whole other life altogether. Your challenge for this month is the Three of Fire and the Fountain. Well, the Fountain is exclusive to the Fountain Tarot, and it signifies the connection with one, with all. So there's something here where you may feel a disconnect in some kind of way to universal connection. There may be a part of you trying to figure that out in a way of your relationship with the universe and with all, maybe figuring out your place with relationship dynamics in the greater context. There also could be the Three of Wands, which is the lack of fire and perseverance and energy to move forward. So you may be lacking energy. You may be lacking relationship, feeling close in relationships in some kind of way. But I feel it is for you to break through some kind of patterns and for you to embark on a path where you are creating your own reality for yourself. So there's going to be a dynamic this month where there's part of you, and it's very Aquarian as well. I mean, it does speak to your archetype of embarking on a path that is your unique path, where you can connect with it from a place of deep resonance and a place of confidence to make it happen for you. But then on the flip side, there's also a disconnect in some kind of way on a deeper level with maybe relationships, the greater context of all, maybe the relationship with the universe, and it's leading to it's leading you to becoming almost unsure of where to direct your energy. You may be feeling uncertain about where to focus your energy. You may be feeling as though there's something missing. It's like there's a missing component to this bigger picture of yourself and the path that you're wanting to create. So you may feel a little lost, a little bit, or even maybe, again, not sure where to direct your energy and your focus to. Your guidance for the month is the Fool and Lovers. So the guidance is to take the leap of faith. And I feel if you feel lost or uncertain of where to focus your energy, I feel simply putting one foot in front of the other and saying yes and taking that leap of faith and believing in yourself is all you need to do. As long as you're taking that leap from that place of Lovers, a place of alignment, aligning with your values, aligning with your inner truth, then you're doing everything perfectly. There also could be taking a leap of faith towards love for some, maybe opening your heart to love. This is kind of funny too, because the Fool is moving away from Lovers. So maybe for some of you, maybe it's moving away from a relationship from your past or a relationship pattern from your past towards something else, something different, maybe for some, maybe towards something of greater value and greater meaning for you on a deeper level. That could also be. Your full moon in Sagittarius message is don't let pride get in your way. This is coming out a lot for this full moon, and the Nine of Cups. Don't let pride get in your way. So during the full moon in Sagittarius, this has come out so many times. Don't let pride get in your way. It's about being vulnerable and dropping your shields and being aware of maybe some of the stories that have been created to create a certain story about yourself or certain persona, maybe asking for help or being truthful about a certain situation or yourself. But it's going to lead to a lot of contentment when you do. I feel that some of you are going to drop the shields and drop the pridefulness, or a layer of it anyway, or a part of it. That's going to lead to a great deal of contentment, inner empowerment. You know, and it's kind of sort of contradictory in some cases where we feel that having a certain story or persona or being strong or presenting ourselves a certain way is actually making us stronger in an essence, but it's actually taking away from our strength. It's disempowering ourselves because we're not allowing our true self to feel free and liberated to express itself in its natural form. So I feel there could be a layer of this where you're stepping into that more and dropping maybe a layer of maybe a story or a persona or an area where you have felt vulnerable. Maybe you're stepping through it and owning it more, where it's going to lead to the Nine of Cups, which is a great deal of contentment. It's feeling very satisfied and content with who you are, becoming real with yourself. And again, dropping something that had once been maybe a story or maybe a mechanism of safety and protection. Your new moon message in Cancer, later portion of the month, is conclusions are within reach, and the King of Pentacles. So your new moon in Cancer, you're reaching a new level of within yourself of feeling really confident, cultivating a certain level of status and wealth and security and stability. Conclusions are within reach means that there's still some work to go. There's still a little bit of work left to do, but it's moving you towards a embodiment of financial security and wealth, and even it's an inner knowing of what you can create for yourself from a level of financial wealth, financial confidence, or confidence that's going to build your financial gain, grow your financial wealth, your finances, essentially. So the Three of Pentacles is also coming through. Some of you this month may welcome a nice business partnership or partnerships, or at least a group you can work with and collaborate with. That also could be coming through this month. And you finally have, I think I covered everything. You finally have Grasshopper Spirit, take a leap of faith. Same with the Fool, is take a leap of faith. Step into the unknown. I think it's number 30. Yeah, take a leap of faith. Step into the unknown, embrace the unknown, embrace your path, embrace your uniqueness. And there's an opportunity here to write a whole new chapter for your life. All right, Aquarius, I'm wishing you all the best. Until next time, take care. Okay, Pisces, we're looking into the month of June. And for the month, you're going to be maybe, perhaps, very sensitive. You have feeling the world and earth magic. Now, what this is so earth magic, I think I just showed that for a quick second. Feeling the world is, with earth magic, is using the sensitivity of how you feel, your empathic abilities. This is your archetype of being very sensitive, taking the world and being very observant of what's happening in the world with others, and grounding into something that you can create out of it. It's a project, passion project, maybe a new path, maybe it's a new sense of self because of your sensitivity towards others. That's really highlighted this month in some kind of way, but it's a new beginning. It's a new beginning. You're rooting in, you're grounding in to a new path based on your calling in some kind of way to help the world, perhaps. You know, it could be like that. But feeling the world, your sensitivities are leading you to a new beginning in your life. Okay. Your main message from the tarot for the month is Temperance and the King of Swords. For this month, you're in charge. You're really taking charge. I mean, the King of Swords is all about taking charge. Very clear, direct, assertive, very vocal too with the voice. But with Temperance, it's a really nice balance of being really clear and really direct, while also being very understanding of the process, being very much in flow. Temperance is the alchemist in a way, very much of presence and flow and harmony, and taking time to blend and mix and create. So you understand the components involved in creating something. The King of Swords is just being really direct. You might have new clarity this month where you're all of a sudden more assertive. You're, again, taking charge. It's a really nice archetype coming through here. Your challenge for the month is the Star and the Eight of Fire. Okay. The challenge, I mean, it could be anything from doubting your path. Maybe some of you have a lack of movement. Maybe there's been a stall. Maybe some of you are not done healing in some kind of way. Maybe you're still in the process of healing and change. where you might be feeling misdirected, or you might have a lack of direction or a lack of insight and understanding, or insight and creative ideas. Like you might be feeling a bit, I would say, lost for creative ideas, but you may not have the creative insights that you're hoping because there's something else taking root here. There's something else that needs your attention for grounding in. So the Eight of Fire is, I feel, a lack of communication, a lack of movement. The Star, I feel there's still something that might need to be healed, or you still might be in the process of aligning with a new direction. So it might bring up uncertainty. It may bring up a lack of clarity, a lack of direction in some way as well, but that's normal. I feel it's a normal occurrence that we go through during these. I think you're in a big shift right now. I feel that you're stepping into something quite significant. So just naturally, there are steps to the process and stages, but I still feel that there's something. I don't feel that the challenge is really going to be all that big of a challenge because of the bigness of what you're creating and what you're stepping into, if that makes sense. Your outcome, or sorry, not your outcome, I'm reading it differently this time. Your guidance for the month is the Devil and the Page of Fire. The Devil and the Page of Fire. This is, yeah, it kind of goes into the challenge actually. The guidance is to watch familiar patterns of limitations, second guessing, maybe addictions, patterns to people, or something that is holding you back or weighing you down in some kind of way. This can be very overtly, very obvious, or covert under the surface. But the Page of Fire is to continuously believe in yourself. And you can override the Devil by continually pointing yourself in a direction that you feel most in alignment with, that you believe in the most. The full moon in Sagittarius, you have a time to give rather than take. New moon in Virgo, plus Judgment. During the full moon in Sagittarius is going to be an opportune time for you. I feel it's about something you're creating, something new for you, where the more energy that you put into what you are creating and breaking patterns of the past, well, the greater success you're going to set yourself up for. And Judgment here during the full moon in Sagittarius is to get real about patterns and attachments to past stories, and to this Devil energy, maybe addictions, maybe cycles, maybe beliefs that don't serve you anymore and that aren't actually helping your progress and moving into this direction. I think something needs to be broken, like a pattern or an attachment or an old story in some kind of way. And when you do Judgment during the full moon, you are able to give more of yourself. And I don't mean it as in having poor boundaries. It's something around being able to create what you're wanting to create. There's something holding you back in a way. And I feel it's more internal, but some of you, it can be maybe a relationship attachment to a certain relationship dynamic. Your new moon in Cancer, believe in the impossible, and the Two of Wands coming through for the new moon in Cancer. Once in a blue moon, something very special coming through. Later portion of the month, you are at a crossroads. The world is your oyster, though. What direction do you want to move down? What direction do you choose? And this is an opening for you. This is the once in a blue moon. Believe in the impossible. It's beautiful. You have the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. So some of you might be accessing your masculine archetype. I feel it's tied to the King of Swords. I feel there's a shift here where you could be working more with your masculine archetype of being more pragmatic, organized, structured, being the architect of your reality, sinking into more pragmatic practices, thinking of finances, like kind of the structure of your reality and what you're wanting to create and build. With the Animal Oracle, you have number 59, open to infinite possibilities, which is beautiful. And this is a really nice reading for you, open to infinite possibilities. I feel you're onto a path, you're on a path right now that's you're creating something very special for yourself and for others, for the world. It's opening up for you right now. You're probably feeling it. It's just, I feel there is one connection to something that's preventing you from fully moving forward, but like it's nothing glaring as far as a huge concern. It's just, you know, one step that we all have to go through, or a step or a process that we have to face and go through in order to continue on and continue building what we're desiring or what we feel called to. And I feel this is what you're definitely embarking on. All right, Pisces, I'm wishing you all the best during this time and beyond. Take care. All right, Aries, we're looking into the month of June. We're doing the full scope here, and I do have the full moon in Sagittarius as well as the new moon in Cancer. All right, so we have here quieting the mind for the month of June. You might be taking time to meditate, to clear your mind, to find peace and stillness and quietness. And you also have Grand Symphony, and this is really finding your place within the greater context of something greater. Finding your own unique sense of self, your own unique offering to a community or to something greater, by honoring you, honoring your uniqueness, your personal interests, your gifts, your talents, your traits, what makes you unique and separate from everyone else, but fit into something greater. All right, your main message for the month is the Page of Swords and the Star. Some of you are aligning. I feel that some of you are researching, studying, at least thinking about a path or a direction, or even for some of you, if it has to do with healing, it's dissecting it and understanding it from a new, or in a new way, in a new light. You could have clarity because of something that was shook up. The tower was before the star. So the dust is settling, and maybe now you have new clarity, you have new insight, you could have gone through healing, something is aligning. You have the challenge is the High Priestess, which has come out in so many readings already. The High Priestess and the world as your challenge. You may feel a bit restless, agitated. There is still something that needs to complete with your old chapter, with an old story of your life, in order for you to arrive into a new chapter and a new sense of self. And the High Priestess, for some reason, the inner self, the High Priestess is in the subconscious, unconscious. The High Priestess is our inner guidance, our intuition, is somehow not coming through here. So when I find the High Priestess is in the challenge position, it's as if that part of oneself is being ignored or not listened to or not exercised. And this is the missing link for you to arrive to the world, and the world is not here yet because there's something deeper that needs to be explored, or even just simply listening to your intuition and honoring your intuition. And by honoring your intuition or exploring your deeper self, you are going to arrive at the world. And the world could mean travel. It could mean exploration. It could also, well, at the root of it, it really fundamentally means the completion of self, the returning to oneself. So in some way, there's a challenge with that, as in there's a stall, a delay, or trying to find out what that is, and it's sort of becoming a bit difficult to grasp in some form. Your guidance is Death and the Seven of Pentacles. Death here is the letting go of the old. Sorry, I think the lighting is going to shift. The clouds, there are too many clouds moving about, so it's sort of messing with the lighting. I apologize for that. Death is your guidance with the Seven of Pentacles. The guidance with Death is to let go of the old, to allow time for release, to allow yourself to purge and let go of something, maybe to process and to integrate the process of death in some kind of way. The Seven of Pentacles, hold on a second. Yeah, sorry about the lighting. I can see it in the camera viewpoint. Seven of Pentacles is guidance as well, to ground into nurturing the process, nurturing the death phase that needs to happen, not pushing it and not trying to get out of it, because it needs time to integrate. It needs time to find its way. And with the Seven of Pentacles as your guidance, I feel it's to nurture the process of death, whatever that means for you, of purification, of purging, of releasing, allowing for time. It needs time to find its form. It needs time to integrate properly, to do its thing that it needs to do. So try not to rush and push and yeah, go against the natural rhythm that's needed here. Your full moon in Sagittarius message is meditate and contemplate new moon in Pisces and the King of Pentacles. So during the full moon in Sagittarius would be a really great time to meditate, to spend time inward, and also I feel to create a relationship with the King of Pentacles, whatever that means for you. Now, this has to do with success, status, finances, building your wealth, your worth, your legacy. The more you can meditate on this and contemplate, as this says, the greater insights you're going to have on the path forward to get there, to get to the dreams or the insights that you feel, the insights or the vision that you feel drawn to. Your full new moon in Cancer, you have the full moon in Pisces and the King of Fire. So the new moon in Cancer coming in later portion of the month is all about balancing spirituality and practicality. So now it's a time to ground down a little bit while still listening to your intuition and while still maintaining your spiritual practice and getting ready to, you have two kings here during the moons, the full moon and the new moon. It's something about getting ready to rise up into your next level. And the new moon in Cancer is going to require you to become practical while also being dedicated to your spiritual practice. This is going to help you amplify your manifestation of self for you to rise above and for you to lead. Some of you are going to be entrepreneurial. Some of you are taking your business to the next level. Some of you are rising into a new role, maybe within yourself or within your career. You have a lot of this big energy starting to break through, and it's going to require a very fine dance within I think it's like getting super dark on the camera. I do apologize for the lighting. It's like there's a dance that needs to happen between your spiritual practice and the groundedness, the practicality. And of course, the Page of Fire, believing in yourself and allowing yourself to move into a process or a stage of co-creation and creation with the universe and what that feels like and what that means for you. So there's something here around moving forward to progression, believing in yourself, creating from a place of co-creation with the universe. What does that feel like and what does that mean within yourself? And considering your future, how do you want to experience this process moving forward? You also have Give with Gratitude and Grace, Turkey Spirit at the bottom of the deck, the Animal Oracle. This is a number 61. This is to give. This is to give and to be without expectations, without entitlement, without, thinking of anything in return. It's showing up fully and giving fully and being in that place of gratitude when you are giving and when you are with people and also receiving, of course. When we place an expectation on the outcome or on other people, or we feel that we're doing all this stuff and we're not getting enough in return, we're actually not allowing ourselves to receive fully and not allowing ourselves to enjoy the process of giving and receiving or reciprocity. I think that's about it for Aries. I'm wishing you all the best during this month of June and take care. All right, Taurus, we're looking into the month of June. This does include the full moon in Sagittarius reading plus the new moon in Cancer as well. For the month of June, you're going to be feeling the world. You're going to be extra sensitive, perhaps, feeling the emotions, the weight, perhaps, of the world, being extra sensitive. This is leading into Cancer season. This also does have a component of the 6 archetype for the month of June. Also a merry motive. I feel some of you is kind of close to Pisces reading in a way where the feeling the world, your sensitivities and your care for the world is leading you to your why. It's leading you to the reason why you want to do what you want to do. which is beautiful. It really is. There's something very genuine, is pure, I feel, behind the reasons of what you want to do and how you want to do it. So it's propelled by your care and your feelings and your sensitivities to others. It's really nice. Your main message for the month is Empress and the King of Water. Yeah, it's definitely speaking to you, your archetype. We have Venus in Taurus for the majority. I think it's for 3 weeks, I think, maybe, beginning portion of June. So you're definitely embodying this beautiful combination of Venus and Taurus, feeling maybe you're nurturing yourself, maybe you're feeling more sensual and enjoying the finer things in life. And the King of Cups is a great deal of emotional intelligence and maturity. This can be very advantageous and helpful for your career, your work, and especially interpersonal relationships, but even more importantly, the relationship with yourself. There's a beautiful harmonious energy this month that you're embodying and that you're experiencing as a whole. Your challenge, I feel it's minor. I feel the Star and the Four of Swords. You may feel, maybe for some of you, that there's a misalignment somewhere, that your maybe hopes or dreams or what you're really working towards isn't aligning fully, but it is, I feel. It just may come in as a doubt or second guessing or questioning. The Four of Swords is a bit of restlessness. You might be holding on to perhaps thoughts or stories or a certain outcome. Maybe for some of you where I feel there's a bigger unfolding that's taking place. I feel it's sort of a common thing. I mean, I go through it constantly when I have an expectation or I'm working towards something and it doesn't show up, and I'm kind of I'm hyper focused on a certain aspect where I'm missing the whole bigger picture. And I feel there's a little bit of that in play here with the Star and the Four of Swords, where there's a bit of restlessness and maybe holding on to some thoughts or expectations, or maybe for some of you a hard time. You might be having a hard time resting because you want to really build what you want to build or work towards what you want to create. That there may be a bit of restlessness in there. And the Star is, again, this sort of maybe not seeing where your direction is taking you exactly, perhaps. Your guidance right now is the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Swords. The guidance is to hold on to your finances, maybe be protective in a way, but of course not in a way that's too protective where it's out of fear or scarcity. But as I feel, be guarded in a sense. The Ten of Swords is to let go of the old stories, to let go of something that just no longer serves, old thoughts, old patterns, and old, maybe again, wanting things done a certain way at a certain time. Maybe it's triggering or activating old thoughts or fears that can be released. Okay, so the full moon in Sagittarius on the 11th, you have the new moon in Pisces, and I think Aries just had the same card come out in the same placement with the Queen of Pentacles, which is your archetype. So meditate and contemplate during the full moon in Sagittarius is a time to practice or engage in spiritual practices. So meditation, full moon ritual, and the Queen of Pentacles is to ground, to anchor in. And I feel really to embody the Empress energy as well, very closely connected. The Queen of Pentacles, very nourishing, very much, again, grounded in the practicality, very wise, taking time through things. I feel that you are going to, I feel it's honestly the Venus and Taurus transit that this is where this is coming through the most. During the new moon in Cancer, later portion of the month, don't let pride get in your way. This card is coming out a lot as well, and death. And also work through your fears. During the new moon in Cancer, there's a big shift coming in at the later portion of the month where the death of the old in some kind of way. There's going to be a transition from maybe the ego self, maybe pridefulness, maybe wanting a certain story or persona to be upheld and to be kind of at the foreground, maybe not wanting to admit or be vulnerable in some kind of way, admit certain things or be vulnerable or ask for help even. And this is the death. You're going to have an ego death, I feel, in some form. So just pay attention to that if it is the case. But it is going to allow you to work through your fear. And I feel it's going to be on a very personal level in this case. Okay, bottom of the deck with the tarot, you have the Five of Wands and the Three of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles. You have a new opportunity on the horizon. You may be pulled in many different directions. You may be feeling the weight of the world or other people. You may be energetically influenced by other people. But I feel you're powering through this. This is pure Taurus energy to get something off the ground and to create something new. So you are going to have the energy to make it happen. You do have the King of Water with the Five of Wands, which is very diplomatic and will help you work through any kind of disputes or chaos within your surroundings or with other people. Okay, got it all. Your animal oracle to round this off is number 40, Mouse Spirit, tend to the small things. And I feel tend to the small things has to do with the Empress. I feel it is tend to the small things of you, the pleasures of life. I don't feel it's necessarily like details and contracts and paperwork and crossing the T's and dotting the I's, although it could be, but I feel it's more to do with you. I feel it's to do with your own personal practice. Again, enjoying nature, enjoying the Empress energy. Again, that Taurus and Venus and Taurus is really coming through this reading. All right, I'm wishing you all the best during the month of June. Until next time, take care.